The night began as a celebration, a housewarming for the home we had spent years saving for. It was supposed to be our fresh start, a new chapter in the suburbs with a white picket fence and a future that felt untouchable. Friends, co-workers, and neighbors arrived with expensive bottles of wine and laughter that filled every corner of the house. I stood outside at the grill, flipping burgers and welcoming everyone with a proud smile, thinking I was the luckiest man alive. My wife, Emma, moved through the crowd like she owned the night. She looked radiant, charming every guest she spoke to. I thought she was just being the perfect hostess, but in reality, she was setting the stage for the most calculated humiliation of my life. By mid-evening, something felt off. Emma kept disappearing into the hallway or the kitchen, whispering frantically into her phone, and pretending to check on appetizers that were already full. Every time I tried to catch her eye or give her a quick kiss, she'd offer a tight artificial smile, touch my arm for a split second, and then drift away again. Then Adrian arrived. He was her younger co-worker, the kind of guy who walks into a room and expects everyone to look at him. The moment he walked through the door, Emma's energy shifted. She lit up in a way I hadn't seen directed at me in years. They stood in the corner of the living room, whispering and laughing, leaning so close that their shoulders were constantly touching. I saw my friends exchanging uneasy looks. One of them actually pulled me aside and asked, "Hey man, is everything okay with you too?" I just forced a laugh and pretended I didn't see what was obvious to everyone else. The truth finally hit me like a physical blow when I walked into the hallway and caught Adrienne's hand lingering on the small of her back. She didn't pull away. She didn't flinch. She just leaned into him and smiled. I approached her calmly, my heart hammering against my ribs, and asked if we could step outside for a private talk. Emma didn't even hesitate. She folded her arms, rolled her eyes with an exaggerated sigh, and said loud enough for the entire room to hear, "Not now, don't ruin the night with your insecurity." Her tone was colder than the ice in the drinks. I swallowed the lump in my throat and walked out to the deck alone, trying to steady my breathing. When I finally walked back inside, everything shattered. I entered the living room to find her standing in the center of a circle. Her face was flushed, her eyes were blazing, and Adrian was standing far too close to her side. The music had died down, and the air was thick with tension. Someone must have called her out or asked what was going on, because the next moment, she snapped. She pointed a finger directly at my chest, her hand shaking with adrenaline, and screamed at the top of her lungs, "Yes, we're sleeping together. He's better than you in every way. Now just leave. Get out of your own house." The silence that followed was deafening. My neighbors stared in disbelief, and I heard someone gasp, "Oh my God." She had just executed our marriage in front of everyone we knew. But the craziest part was Adrian's reaction. He looked horrified. He stepped back from her, muttering, "Emma, what the hell? I didn't sign up for this." She didn't even look at him. Her eyes were fixed on me, breathing hard, looking like she had finally broken free from a prison. I didn't scream. I didn't curse. I didn't even ask why. I just took a slow breath, nodded once, and walked toward the front door. People parted from me like I was a ghost. Emma expected me to fight for her, to beg, or to have a breakdown, but my silence was what actually destroyed her. The second that door clicked shut behind me, the illusion she had created collapsed. I heard from friends later that the party turned toxic within seconds. One coworker told her she was disgusting, and a neighbor just shook his head in disappointment before walking out. Adrian literally ran out the door, yelling that she was crazy and that he wasn't part of whatever sick fantasy she was playing out. Within 10 minutes, the house was empty. Emma was left alone in the middle of a mess of dirty dishes and spilled drinks, standing in a house I paid for, surrounded by the wreckage of her own outburst. She called me 27 times that night. She sent paragraphs of texts claiming she was drunk, that she just wanted attention, that it was all a joke that went too far. But the truth was simple. She showed the world exactly who she was. By the time her parents arrived the next morning, they found her curled up on the couch crying in a silent, empty house. She wanted a grand exit. She wanted the drama, and she wanted the better man. Instead, she got exactly what she deserved: total, crushing silence. I never went back.